Since we're a little bit past the halfway mark, I'm going to bring up a two-part question, and I'll let you interpret the first part as you see fit, which asks, what are your experiences with cannabis? And the second part of the question is, do you see a future for economic development with cannabis, and what would that look like?
So actually, about 4 years ago, I've actually been involved a lot with cannabis. My mom, both of my parents were diagnosed with cancer, and my mom had a really bad reaction to her medication. So I knew that because of my abuela, my abuelas used to put una plantita de hierba buena with some alcohol, and for their arthritis, my abuela used to have, so we had cannabis in our house when I was growing up as a kid. So for me, that was never that big of an issue. But once my mom had a really bad reaction to the radiation, I started making the cannabis butter for her. And the reason was because every time she would go to the doctor to ask for some medication so she could keep food down, they would give her medication that had another ailment. There was medication where she couldn't sleep. There was medication that she was worse off than the radiation. So I started making cannabis butter and started giving her cannabis butter for her to be able to have a proper, so the radiation treatment could actually work. Thankfully, thank God, she was able to beat the cancer, and she was able to gain weight because she was losing weight at a higher rate. For me, what I see now as an opportunity is for us, if there is legislation in Springfield for the legalization of recreational marijuana, I want to make sure that the revenue for that marijuana is spent on young people and people that have been incarcerated and need opportunities for jobs and need opportunities to further their education. Right now, we spend $40,000 per year to incarcerate somebody that got charged and got arrested for marijuana possession, and we spend less than $5,000 to educate them. Let's use those dollars to provide them more opportunities.
My experiences with marijuana have been purely recreational. I'm not going to elaborate. I wish I had a better story to tell. Let's move on. But I will say this. I would say I don't think we should be looking to recreational marijuana as a great cash cow. It'd be one thing for Colorado when we got in on the game first. But but I think we have an opportunity to win by decriminalizing possession and the sale of marijuana, but also harsher drugs. I think we need to find ways to release non-violent prisoners who are accused of drug crimes and get them reincorporated into society. The real windfall is not spending $40,000 a year to keep someone in a cage. The windfall is getting those people working, perhaps replacing lead service lines, working in other industries. I think cannabis sale should be legal. I think we need to make sure that the communities that at one time benefited economically from the clandestine sale of marijuana also have opportunities to have legitimate businesses. I would hate to think that people of color in Little Village or Englewood stay rotting in jail while J.B. Pritzker's friends make their millions selling legal cannabis at convenience stores. We can't have that. Also, we shouldn't look to medical marijuana as some sort of opportunity to tax. If that's someone's medicine, why are we trying to tax it? There's other ways to tax. We can tax Warren Buffett, right? We can tax Michael Sachs, right? We can tax the millionaires and billionaires. Let's not come after people and their medicine. Thank you.
Obviously, this election coming up is not only significant for the 12th Ward, which of course it is, but also for the city. And are you aligned or supporting any mayoral candidate? Which one and why?
Yeah. So, yesterday I was at a mayoral forum with all the mayoral candidates, And the last question that they asked all the mayoral candidates was, if you could not vote for yourself, who would you vote for? They all picked Amara Enya, which I thought was really interesting. And for me, you know, every time I listen to Amara and I look around her policy positions, they really align with what I want to be able to imagine for the city of Chicago. And that is being able to look at everything that we do from a racial equity lens, meaning that those of us have gotten less, that we deserve more, and that those that have more need to give more. And also, we need to be able to look at the problems that we need to solve in our city, not as things that we need to tinker around the edges. We need to make sure that we use every opportunity to get rid of corruption. We need to make sure that we use every opportunity to put people power in the positions of authority. And we need to make sure that we look at this economy that is for us and not for the wealthy. So for me, I have not heard any of the other candidates speak to the imagination, but also in ways that are really going to involve, that are really going to allow for my kids to have a future in the city. And what she is imagining and what she's putting out there, I know that when people really look at what she's talking about, that they're going to agree with that too.
Sadly, I'm undecided in this election. I would say my top three are Amara Enya, Lori Lightfoot, and Tony Preckwinkle. I'd like to say a nice thing about each of them. I'm sure there'll be other people saying negative things about them. Yeah, just watch your TV. I'd say Amara Enya is a brilliant person. I could sit and listen to her talk for hours. Her concept around the public bank, you see a lot of people jumping on board with that. I think, yeah, she's definitely, this is a time where we need big ideas, and I think Amara Enya provides those. It's also a time when corruption is costing us somewhere between $50 and $100 million a year in the state of Illinois. The person I trust most to deal with political corruption is Lori Lightfoot. She's gone after crooked aldermen before for the silver shovel. I think she's tough. I think she's a genuine person. I may disagree with some of her policies, but I think she's someone who's tough. And this city could use someone tough to get things done. You see how things operate when we don't have someone like that. Tony Preckwinkle, when the Laquan McDonald tape was released, there was a Black Friday march downtown. And I remember seeing thousands of people, my wife, my children, we all went because we were extremely upset. And I remember seeing Tony Preckwinkle in that march. She wasn't leading the march. She wasn't on the megaphone. She was there as a private citizen, upset about the illegal murder of a black teenager, and I will always respect Tony Preckwinkle for her stances and actions on racial justice. Those are my three top candidates.
So the question, not surprisingly, about the mayoral candidates brought us to the police.